welcome to the Diamond Mine podcast with Nate and Laney, where we listen to all 92 Diamond albums certified by Billboard. Today's album is Breathless by Kenny G.
Oh boy.
So,
this album.
First thought I have about it, or just in general, is that I really don't know when I can listen to a saxophone again and keep my sanity.
Yeah, no, the saxophone was just too much at the end of it. I couldn't, no. And I definitely could not sit and listen to it in just one sitting all the way through. I would lose my mind.
I agree. After that second one, I really don't know if I can sit down and listen to that album straight, really.
Oh, yeah, no. Because we listened to it the first time together, so we could kind of like share our thoughts and all that. But then we listened to it separately. And no, it was just absolute torture. It was horrible.
Because after at the beginning of the first listen, honestly, that album was kind of busting, dude.
Oh yeah.
Some of those songs were just hitting, but it's like the last 4 songs is
oh my gosh,
kind of where it started taking the downhill spiral for me. Because I really did enjoy those, but it's like those last 4 songs had no soul almost.
Yeah, I listened to them today, well, the last 3 today before we did this or whatever, just so I could have fresh on the mind, and also because we were just over it when we listened to it all the way through, and they still just weren't my favorites. They were just mediocre, I guess.
I get you. Very easygoing. If I was at a doctor's office and that was playing, I wouldn't mind, but I can't just be sitting in my room and listening to Breathless by Kenny G. It's so, the main way I can describe it, and I've already said this before, but it's soulless.
Yeah, some of it really lacked personality. I get that. And honestly, it's classified as jazz, but I don't think of it as jazz. I think it is more like contemporary or easy listening, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is why a lot of people gave this album poor reviews, is because this isn't a jazz album. This sucks. This is so bland and mediocre, but I don't know. I thought it was good. It's a Diamond album. It went 12 times platinum.
Yeah,
So
for what I thought it was going to be, it is so much better. Than what I expected. Because before this, we were cracking jokes about the album. We were like, oh man, that Kenny G, we're gonna have to listen to a whole hour and 11 minutes or whatever of Kenny G. But at least the first 2/3, I'd give it the first 2/3 were enjoyable least, but those last 4 were kind of a trudge, I guess.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes, because I texted you that when I was listening to it, it went by very quickly. It was very enjoyable. And the second track on this album, Forever in Love, won a Grammy for instrumental composition in 1994. So it's a good album.
Yeah.
It's just not, I guess, my taste necessarily.
I get you. Something kind of weirdly specific about it is it reminded me of 90s video game soundtracks, like Mario 64. I wrote that down on the first listen. I was like, man, this sounds like something I would jump on some turtles with.
Jump on some turtles.
Yeah.
Those Koopas, man. Yeah. I don't know. It all sounded very similar, obviously, because it's Kenny G with his saxophone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he made it all sound so different, because songs like G-Bop, where it was an absolute banger, and it sounded like it was from the 90s, compared to the Wedding Song, which is, I think, the last one on the album, and it was just
the Wedding Song was rough.
Yeah,
that one that was Roses or something. Roses.
Sister Rose.
Sister Rose.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that one was...
No, I don't know. I think the Wedding Song was my least favorite.
I don't know. Sister Rose is 7 minutes, though.
Oh, yeah. It was 6 minutes and something. Yeah, no. That one was pretty... he could have cut that at 3 or 4 minutes, I will say. And it would have been a lot better.
I mean, it wouldn't have been great, but.
Well, I mean, let's say you give it a 7 or something. It could have been an 8, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, it was just not. It just wasn't it. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. So, you want to get into like kind of specifics about certain songs and.
Yeah.
So, one song that me and you have been singing is the By the Time the Night Is Over.
Yeah.
That little piece, it's so
With
catchy.
Peebo.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard that, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that because it's a Kenny G album, but the lyric songs kind of make Kenny G seem as a background thing, like he's the feature.
It takes away from the instrumental concept.
And
Yeah.
Technically, his album title, or his song titles, excuse me, don't say featuring this person. They say with this person.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's like a co-feature kind of thing.
It just kind of makes Kenny G seem like not as important on the songs, even though it's a Kenny G song. But at least that song was pretty good. The other lyric song I didn't feel as highly about.
What was the name of that one?
I'm not exactly sure.
Even if my heart would break with Aaron something.
Neville, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't feel as great about that one. I didn't really like Aaron's voice.
I don't think it captured the song like it really should have been captured. I feel like if he had someone like Al Green or something like that, it would have enhanced it instead of like making it feel malnourished.
Dude, you know what would go crazy?
What?
CeeLo Green on a Kenny G song. That would be absolutely bonkers.
Honestly, they should collab. They should do it.
Dude,
they should go for it.
I hope CeeLo still makes music. I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
Honestly, after he was on The Voice and had like a pet bird or something, I haven't heard from him, so I really couldn't tell you, man. But yeah, By the Time the Night Is Over, that one is still stuck in my head, and I added that one to my favorites playlist because why would you not? It's a great sing-along song.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I thought was really good was the first one, which was The Joy of Life.
What was that?
I think that was a dog. Anyway, The Joy of Life, which we initially thought was a 10 out of 10, but then I listened to it again. I gave it a 9.5. I took it down a notch because like...
Yeah, 10 is a little... I don't really know if anything on this album is a 10.
No. I think it's all above a 5.
Yeah.
But...
It's also a Diamond album, so... How much can you really have that's below a 5?
Exactly.
Nickelback will test that next podcast.
That's the next one, yeah.
Little spoiler, but... So... I was going to say something. Oh, every one of the songs... I wrote this on the first listen as well. Like... I'm wondering, like, when he's going to get into his quote-unquote Kenny G bag. And I'm like, oh, man, what's in store? And then sometimes it's just hitting.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, man, I don't know how I keep saying that, but those last 4 songs, dude, he just never got in that bag. He never did. It just kind of, it was elevator music. Like, I could have heard that at my pediatrician when I'm getting my yearly checkup.
You really could. And the thing is, the start of those 4, which is Sister Rose, comes after G-Bop, which G-Bop sets the bar pretty high.
Yeah, that's like one of my
So
favorites
then
on
to
there.
come off of that and be so mellow and slow and all of that, it's really not in that song's favor.
Something I noticed towards the end of the album, and I'm not going to harp on the last 4 songs in this, but something I noticed is like when I tried to think back to the songs without lyrics, I couldn't really think of specifics, like very many specifics out of stuff. I could think of the hook every once in a while, but I couldn't think of what the song was called with certain hooks, and everything was blending together. And I initially was like, man, that sucks. Like, this doesn't have any, I guess, staying power in my mind. But is it really that bad to not know the names of the songs if you're enjoying like most of the album?
I don't think so, because I feel like the only way people could really recognize each individual song was to be, number 1, a super mega Kenny G fan, or number 2, to actually sit and annotate the songs because you are in an orchestra or a band and that's what you play. Mm-hmm. Or if you were like a cover band for Kenny G or something like that.
A Kenny G cover band?
I hope that exists. I really do.
Hope that.
I would go see that.
And they have to look like Kenny G, though. They can't, like, not look
I feel like a lot of people could look like Kenny G. Like Adrian.
Dude, I could
that kid I graduated with? Yeah.
I could look like Kenny G if I dyed my hair black and grew it out a little bit.
I think you could.
He's maybe a dark brown. Maybe not black, but...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I keep saying Weird Al instead of Kenny G, even though me and Kenny G every time. I keep mistaking him for Weird Al. No clue why.
Yeah.
Two different men, but they look very similar, so whatever. I will say, though, I did watch interviews with him. We'll get back to the songs in a minute, but I watched some interviews with him, and he is very humble.
Oh, yeah.
Which I like. I appreciate that about people. And you can tell that he was a band kid, and, like, that's how he started because of how he, like, holds himself, his composure, things like that. Mm-hmm. But then also, when he talks about himself, it sounds like he's bragging, but at the same time, how do you not brag when you're Kenny G?
When you're probably the most famous mainstream saxophonist ever.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, if I were him, oh, man, I don't know. I'd probably brag a lot more. And he doesn't even brag. He just genuinely talks about himself. Like, he practices 3 hours a day, like 5 or 6 days a week, I think. And so, I don't know. He just keeps it going. And he can just show up anywhere and start playing. And it's crazy.
Dude, he holds I think I've told you this before, but I'll repeat it for the podcast. He holds the longest concert B flat or something because he can circularly breathe, meaning he's breathing out of his mouth but also breathing in his nose.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 40-something minutes.
I want to say 47.
Yeah, something like that.
He holds the Guinness World Record for it.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was an interesting fact about him. Definitely a skilled saxophonist, but then again, like, how much saxophone can you listen to before listening to saxophone is torture.
Exactly. But, like, that's the thing, though. The saxophone is like his voice.
Yeah.
And I think he, in general, is a pretty mellow, happy kind of guy. And so his music, you could kind of tell, like, what his personality is through his music.
Yeah.
And then...
Something is rumbling.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. We need to find a better space next time, I guess. He also has his pilot's license. Did you know that?
He can fly?
Yeah, he can fly.
Oh my gosh.
And he has a plane that he calls the Beaver. And he was in an interview and he was like, don't think too much about that. And then he tried to explain like why it's called the Beaver. And it's because it's one of those amphibious planes. And it's called, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pronounce this, but it's like, I don't know, de Havilland or something Beaver?
Something like that, bro.
I don't know. But it's an amphibious plane that you can land on water, obviously, fly through the air. It can do anything you want it to do. And so he's really just cool guy Kenny, huh?
Dude, he really just, like, is living his best life. Because he grew up in a small little ranch house, like, sleeping in the same room as his brother. And now he's living in, where at? I think
Miami?
No, I think he's in California.
Oh.
I'm not sure. One of those paradise type places.
Malibu. He's in Malibu. That's it.
But he really, I guess,
really
stepped
living
up
that
from
life?
them
Yeah.
just by playing the saxophone. Who else does that, dude? That's just a Kenny G thing. Dude.
It's just a Kenny G thing. It is just a Kenny G thing.
A Kenny G thing.
Ain't nothing but a Kenny. Oh my gosh, seriously. But then I will say, there's a music video for Forever in Love, which
I didn't get to watch that.
Which is like, I guess, the most popular song off this album. And honestly, it's kind of what you expect a Kenny G music video to look like. Like, it's kind of weird, but it's very, I don't know, it just makes sense.
What, is there like a plot?
Like, there's like naked kids running around, but then you have Kenny G like emerging from the shadows, just playing a saxophone all smooth and suave. Silky, all of that. I don't know, it's just really weird.
Silky.
Like the naked kids are like running through a field. They're just having a great time.
Just like they're just naked, like not doing anything.
Yeah. Cheeks. Like they're just running through a field naked, wild and free.
I mean,
I don't know. It reminds me of this movie called The Secret of Roan Inish, which is like, it takes place in like Ireland or Scotland or something. And there's this one scene of this like little boy who's naked just running through the field.
Yeah.
Except it's not from the back view, it's from the front view.
It's like that, it's like the Nirvana cover.
Oh, yeah.
With like the baby underwater.
Why are these people exposing these kids like that?
Dude, and then there's the cover of, I think the kids are naked in this cover, but Over the Hills and Far Away for Led Zeppelin, they're
crawling up the... Yeah. I think they are.
I remember I wore that shirt for that, with that cover on it in like the 2nd grade, and everybody made fun of me because there's naked kids on it.
I remember that shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So... Screw you kids. That's a good song.
There's naked kids. It's just a Kenny G thing.
Yeah, it's just a Kenny G thing, bro.
Ain't nothing but a Kenny G. All right, let's get back to the songs though. So we kind of covered the last 4, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're just slow songs.
Yeah.
They're pretty basic, contemporary songs, whatever you want to classify this as. I think overall this is a very happy album. Like if you were to just listen to
it's good
one
vibes.
or a couple songs, yeah, exactly, it is.
That's kind of what I was trying to get at, but I couldn't formulate. Sorry, I know y'all heard that water bottle crack open. I couldn't formulate my sentences on it, but like what I was saying, I could hear this in my doctor's office. Like, yes, it's quote like boring, not necessarily boring, but that's just the best word I can find for it right now.
Yeah.
But it's very like happy-go-lucky and
yeah, and I feel like other than like the doctor's office or like elevator music, which I feel like is kind of a blow to his, to this album, I feel like you could also hear it in like a spa or something.
Yeah.
Like they're sitting there like giving you a massage or something. Like that's the kind of music they play sometimes. Or I wrote this down for Sister Rose, which is like one of the slow songs at the end. And I wrote that at first it kind of sounds like I just walked into like a lounge or like a jazz club or something. Mm-hmm. So it's very like relaxed. I don't know. It just, if you need to relax, if you're stressed or anxious or something, this album honestly will help you with that, I feel like.
Like my one sentence consensus of this album, I guess I could give you is probably the best elevator music that you could hear. Like, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is boring, this isn't jazz, this isn't this isn't that, this gives a bad rep to jazz. It's not bad music.
No.
I don't think it's bad music. I think you get a little lost because sometimes you're like, this is soulless, but
right.
It's not bad music. I really don't think so. I don't understand why the critics gave it such harsh reviews.
I don't either. I mean, again, it went 12 times platinum. Mm-hmm. It is a diamond certified album,
Clearly
or at least in the United States, and like other countries listen to it. It was platinum several times as well.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, people liked it, and I mean, I guess it's not normally what people listen to. Which is why it's number 92 on this list.
Yeah.
Even though I think it should be much higher than some of the stuff.
The Lion King soundtrack is way up there.
That's also a Disney soundtrack, though. So everybody loves Disney.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't know if this needs to be 92. I'm not saying that the Lion King soundtrack is bad.
Because, like, other albums on this list have songs that were hits. Like, they're good songs, I won't lie. But is the rest of the album just as good as those individual songs?
Yeah.
Because I think this album is through and through a solid album. Mm-hmm. Or the other ones? That's the question, I guess. So I would say, I mean, where would you put this one? Kind of somewhere on this list.
Since we don't have anything like ranked
mm-hmm.
just yet, I'm gonna give it kind of a not specific ranking. Probably somewhere in like 40s, like 45, 46, 47.
Yeah.
Out of 92, maybe, just maybe, high 50s, 50, 51, 52. Okay. Depends on how good some of these albums are.
Yeah.
Coming up, which I mean, they're diamond albums, and we're starting at the bottom, going to the top. So there's a high probability that it will get bumped down to those 50s. But
that's true. I agree with that. And honestly, though, I don't know. This came out in 1992. He was 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This was his 6th studio album, right?
Something like that.
I think, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I would describe this album in many different ways, you know, vivacious at times, funky even, but then also very just slow, maybe even supple. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh.
Supple. I don't really like that word, but
some supple
I'm using it.
saxophone playing.
Cause like, I don't know, some songs they just reminded me of things. Like they reminded me of like a church choir or something, or like hymns that they sing in churches, or it reminds me of like montages that people make and post online, or just like the intro to some shows. Like I wrote that The Joy of Life, which is the first one, kind of reminded me of like an intro to like an older sitcom like The Golden Girls. Something, it's very diverse, but at the same time it's just very
consistent.
Yeah.
It is a very consistent album. I mean, I don't know, I keep saying this, but like other than the last 4 songs, it's pretty consistent with how he does his songs. Like starts off with like, oh, how's he gonna get in his bag here? Gets in the bag, and he stays in his bag.
Once he starts hitting those notes, it's over.
Also, did you notice in the outros, like all of the outros, he always does some crazy. Like,
he does. That's what the last part is, when he really just starts going for it.
Yes.
Like Kenny, no, we need that randomly thrown into a song, keep us on our toes. But then it also, like, when he starts going crazy like that, it fades out. So it doesn't, like, I don't know.
I don't know the full potential of Kenneth Gorlick.
Kenneth Gorlick?
Dude, he's lucky he went with Kenny G and not Kenneth Gorlick.
Kenneth Bruce Gorlick.
Oh my gosh. Bruce. Shout out to people named Bruce, bro.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. Would I buy this album? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd buy it.
I'd at least buy some of the songs off it.
I'd buy it.
Like on iTunes.
I might get like a vinyl, you know, like a record. I'd get that. Would I go to a Kenny G concert? Not unless my man was crowd surfing while playing the saxophone.
I don't know. If Kenny G came into town, like, I wouldn't drive 2 hours away.
Oh, no.
But if he came into town, I would go to a Kenny G concert.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
But we'd get like the cheap like nosebleed tickets and just like vibe up in the stands or whatever. Night is over.
Dude,
yeah, that'd be fun.
I'll get down to Kenny G and the nosebleeds with you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Man, I was gonna say something else. Now I can't remember. I don't know. I mean, just the songs. He's no Kelpie G from SpongeBob, you know.
Yeah. Kelpie G.
Kelpie G. Would Squidward Tentacles listen to Kenny G?
Squidward Tentacles would so listen to Kenny G, dude.
Alright, that's all we need to know. You heard it here first. I mean, ain't nothing but a Kenny G thing.
Ain't nothing but a Kenny G thing. And that's my consensus I've drawn from this album.
Yeah.
It's about all I gotta say about that, really.
I think that's it. So Kenny, you did great. Honestly, if you drop another album, I might listen to it just to see what you're up to in 2020.
I agree.
2021.
See if he still got it.
See if he still got it, exactly, because, I mean, it's been 8 years since this album, so.
Yeah.
No, my gosh, wait, what year is it?
8
It's 2020.
years.
Ooh, it's 2020, not 2000.
28 years.
I'm sorry.
1992?
That's weird. It's been 28 years.
Dude, you want to get, like, your brain scrambled real quick? The 1970s started 50 years ago. The Beatles.
That's so weird.
Will have 100-year-old albums when we're in our 60s.
That's weird. I don't know why I keep thinking it's the 2000s, but I do. Oh my gosh. Time has really flown by. Alright, well, anyway,
I mean, I guess that's it for this episode of The Diamond Mine with Nate and Laney. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next podcast with some Nickelback for you.
Ooh, alright. 1 down, 91 to go. See ya.